So we got underway with RXR. It was Arlen Kotlinski, followed by Johan Kristoffersen taking to the car. And you can just remind yourself what it's like to be here in Sardinia, the beautiful Island X Prix with water jumps and the likes, a little bit of air taken as well, and a switch-over zone, which means 45 seconds minimum hold.
Yeah, modifications to the cars ahead of this round. Everybody's got new suspension components which improve the handling and the strength of the Odyssey 21. I have to say, Arlen Kotlinski and Kristoffersen looking every bit as confident as they looked in Saudi Arabia, where they took the win, and they set a time here, first out in the session, which would not be bettered.
Next up, it was the Abt Cooper team, Alataya and Kleinschmidt taking to the track, and you can just see the windscreen wipers blowing away.
Kleinschmidt said she felt she hadn't tried quite hard enough. She had 2 spins yesterday in free practice, and that had knocked her confidence, so she'll be looking to go a bit quicker during Q2.
Next up, Veloce with Woolridge and Christine GZ taking to the wheel. However, it was not going to be the perfect run for them. Just watch what happens to the front right. Oh dear.
Yeah, so suspension collapsed for Woolridge, and you can see the wheel locked up completely up in the arch. If he could have carried on, he would.
Gilmore and Faust for McLaren, and they wanted a better round than last time. Decent pairing, however, wasn't set to be, was it?
No, they were on for a top time. Faust was at the wheel on the second lap, and coming through one of the bumpy sections. Unfortunately, an issue for them on the front right as well. We've not had confirmation if they'd had a similar issue to Veloce, but we have heard that potentially both teams were slightly offline when the issue happened. Sainz and Sainz, though, putting on a real show. Carlos Sainz pushing super hard on the second lap. They weren't able to match the times of RXR, but they did in the session P2, so great job by them.
Yep, impressive stuff. El Matador doing his work. Andretti United were next up. Timmy Hansen and Katie Munnings. They had a software issue on practice day, but no such issues for them when it came to getting out there for the first part of qualifying, taking that mud and wet zone pretty nicely as well.
No change of luck, unfortunately, for Chip Ganassi Racing with the number 99 Hummer EV. They stopped in the switch zone, having had a perfectly good first lap, no issues whatsoever. And they got a message up on the screen, which meant that they would go no further. This is Sarah Price bringing it in. At this point, Kyle LeDuc is ready to go. He gets in the car, Jenny, and he said, didn't he, that as soon as he got in the car, it was completely dead.
You can see they were both upset. They've just had nothing but bad luck. So it's time for that luck to change. Hopefully we'll see a better result for them in Q2. Up there, X44 with Loeb and Gutierrez, but disaster was set to come. The rear comes off, and then...
Yeah, punch for Sebastian Loeb. Watch the rear right there, 1, 2. You saw the air come out twice as he pitched the car in through those bumps, and with just a little bit too much lateral pressure, Loeb goes into full-on WRC mechanic mode, and they had a bit of a job getting the old wheel off, but got it done and only lost 2 minutes in the process.
They set a slow time, but doesn't really matter in the large scheme of things. They managed to finish 7th, which is all important. So let's take a look at the results from qualifying 1. In 10th place, disappointment for Woolridge and Christine GZ. She didn't get in the car, unfortunately. More bad luck for the Chip Ganassi Racing team and for McLaren. 3 DNFs.
Yeah, and a shame as well, because we know how quick those teams are. Look how close it is further up the leaderboard, and you can see, so particularly here from Molinaro and Scheider in P5, look, plus 18, plus 15 for Abt Cooper, plus 13 for Genesis Andretti United, plus nearly 12 for ACCIONA Sainz. It's so close, Jenny, but the winners of Q1 are Arlen Kotlinski and Kristoffersen for RXR, and their rivals, X44, have had a bad run. So will this be the first time that we don't see X44 on the TQ spot, or will they pull something out of the bag in the racing portion of Q2 later? Away from the line then, dust kicks up over on the right-hand side. Scheider trying to squeeze in on Kristoffersen. Kristoffersen pushing across Gutierrez. He's just got the nose in front of her. Gutierrez is right there, though, as they disappear behind the bushes. It is RXR who come out in front. Kristoffersen lead from Gutierrez. Down in the background, Munnings has gone on a completely different route. Bottom left of your screen. Watch for Katie Munnings. Gutierrez goes around in the background. There comes Munnings. Kristoffersen runs over the rocks. Is that Munnings that's made it through to P2? I think it might be. It is. Munnings is in front of Timo Scheider. So Andretti United using a very different right-hand line have slotted into P2. Great tactics from them off the start. Munnings Sainz has got to try and hold on to this position. X44 at the back. Did Gutierrez have a problem with the car, or was it just a mistake? Remember, they've done loads of work on that car since Q1.
Yeah, Gutierrez getting very wide and wrapped up at the beginning, and I think just lost out on the track position at that point. But we'll hopefully see a replay of some. Oh, look, we're trying to go through, and there's been a mistake.
No.
Oh, no, not another problem for Leduc, or is it just he's lost a little bit of drive? We'll find out in just a moment, but that leaves the way open for Xite to go through in the Xite team. This is your leader, though, Christopherson in the RXR team, followed by the Genesis Andretti United. Katie Munnings doing a fantastic job out there, and right behind it's Timo Scheider, the championship driver who's stepped up this weekend, and he is trying to hunt down Munnings. Munnings is doing a fantastic job of just holding off, making that Odyssey 21 so wide. Is this an opportunity for Scheider? He's trying to find a way around. He does find a way. On the outside, he goes through and he overtakes Munnings. Can Munnings come back? That's the question.
Brilliant move by Scheider. I didn't think there'd be enough room. That's one of the places we actually said there won't be enough room through there, and Scheider's made it stick. Kristoffersson telling Michaela a few things in Swedish.
There will be a yellow flag slow zone where the Chip Ganassi Racing team are. So we're trying to limit red flags, so a yellow flag slow zone where that car is, which I think by looking at it was just after somewhere waypoint 3 maybe. So you can see them going past the car now. They'll have to get to 9.
One of them gunned it, Jenny. I heard one of them. You heard the throttle come up. We were on board, and one of them gunned it.
Oh, Loeb's looking for an alternate route round to just see, what can I do here? Can I get round? He's trying to overtake.
If he's gone on the throttle, if he's come off the pit limiter and gone on the throttle in that yellow flag zone, they will get a penalty for that.
This is the battle for third and second. You can see Loeb coming round is going to be all over Molinaro very, very shortly. That's Hansen in the car. It looks like an absolute handful. But at the next waypoint, I fear it's going to be game on.
Up the inside, Sebastian Loeb gets it done on the brakes. Molinaro did well, but he set that up, didn't he, from a long, long way back. Now we see a hyperdrive from Loeb in the X44 machine, and he's gapping Molinaro big time on the run down towards the finish. Brilliant job.
So it is RXR. They come down to the line. The finish line awaits them. They have a big lead, almost 10 seconds over them. Arlen Kotelinski will make it through the line first. What a display of dominance for the RXR team. They come in here with a substantial lead over everybody else, and now they have another substantial lead. But what will it be for X44 is a penalty on the way, and the Xite Energy Racing team doing a fantastic job coming in third place. What a race. We have a green flag. It's a slow start for JBXE, and a little bit of a crash there going into Veloce, but on the left-hand side you can see it's Sainz versus McLaren versus Abt, the three of them taking the same line. This will be fascinating to see a really good shot of that. It's Sainz taking the line, but the alternate it's Veloce leading the way. So Sainz getting a little bit of air. We've got another split back there with Abt going wide through marker 2. The rejoin will be fascinating at the moment. It's Sainz out in front, but what's happening to the right of them? You can see there the Veloce car speeding along, and then behind them it's the orange flashed car as well of the McLaren team. So the McLaren team trying to get past Veloce, and you can see there Sainz first in.
So this really is Carlos Sainz versus Faust, and it's about them coming in and trying to give their drivers as much of an advantage as they can. Coming down to the braking zone now. Carlos Sainz is sideways on the brakes. We didn't see what happened to him. He was really sideways, just held on. In comes Tanner Faust behind. The gap was 5.94, but I wonder if that would have brought it down just a little bit. So it's a 6-second gap between ACCIONA Sainz and Neon McLaren Extreme E. You then got 12 seconds back from McLaren to Veloce Racing, and a further 6 seconds back from Veloce to JBXE, with Abt Cooper just 4 seconds off the back of them. GZ, look, sorry, so that's Lance has pulled out. So what's happened there? Look, they've either McLaren were extremely slow, or Veloce, they can't have made up 12 seconds, Jenny, because they have to stop for the same amount of time. So either Veloce have let that car go early, or McLaren was long. And I don't think McLaren were long, because Sainz went out at the exact same gap I expected them to go out at. The gap was 5.8, it's now 5.5. I think Veloce have released that car early. This is a brilliant performance by ACCIONA Sainz, and is going to see them confirmed as P2 in qualifying as well, because they were second after Q1, and they're about to take a maximum points here for a win in Heat 2. Brilliant drive by Sainz and Sands, and they're looking very much a threat this weekend. Down towards the finish line with a Santolena in the background. Whereabouts of Veloce? Oh, McLaren coming under threat here. So Gilmore is coming under threat from Kevin Hansen on the run to the finish line. She should just about hold on. She does. Ahead of them, Veloce, of course, but we're expecting Woolridge to get a hefty penalty from that switch zone infringement.
Whew.
P5, Kleinschmidt and Alatia. P4, Hosas and Hansen. Faust and Gilmore shown as P3, but we think in P2 the Veloce was possibly released early and possibly speeding in that switch zone. The winners, though, Carlos Sainz and Laia Sanz. They were P2 in that first qualifying session. They will finish qualifying P2 to RXR, and I think they're looking like potential winners this weekend.
Just have a look at the qualifying heats and then the semi-finals that we're expecting tomorrow. Of course, this is provisional at the moment, but these are what we're expecting, and some good lineups, eh?